Precious metals, this stuff right here, making quite a comeback. Not only are individuals investing more money in gold and silver, but countries are as well. And in this interview with Colin Plume of Noble Gold, we discuss which countries are investing in precious metals, how much they're investing, and what the precious metal market is likely to look like in 2019, and how you can capitalize on that. Colin, thanks so much for coming on with me again, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, good to be here. Lots happening in the news, and with the elections here, there's going to be some shakeups in the markets and obviously politically.
Yeah, totally. Markets, politically, we've got a lot of sights on the Fed right now, a lot of countries and banks around the world looking at precious metals, looking at gold and silver. A lot of things I want to talk to you about here. First of all, I want your thoughts on the economy coming up. Just like you mentioned, election is now done. We've got the rest of this year into next year to now look at and worry about. So what's your thoughts on what's going to happen with Wall Street and the economy?
Well, I think the worst case scenario happened. The Democrats came in and took over the House, and it's not unusual for this to happen when you have a Republican president, to have the Democrats come in. But my concern is that they're going to stifle the economy. Obviously, they're going to come in with an agenda. Probably first thing is, going after Trump in a number of different ways to unseat him, and we'll probably see some legislation to try to impeach him. And that's basically what that's going to do, is going to slow him down from being able to keep this economy going. The Fed has already raised interest rates this year multiple times. Trump's been talking about it. And now that the Democrats are in, I think it's going to make it much more difficult for him to keep this economy going. So I'm very nervous about it. And a lot of analysts are coming out right now and saying that we should be bracing for a recession. David Stockman, who worked under President Reagan in the 80s, believes that we're going to see a 40% correction in the next 12 to 18 months. So there's a lot of things happening out there that people are concerned about. And that's why you're seeing Poland and Hungary, two European countries that have not bought gold in over 15 years, come and do a very large buy of gold, because they're bracing themselves for an economic pullback, a European Union pullback, and they're looking to get some safe haven investments for themselves. And that was very shocking. I mean, people were shocked that these two countries bought gold, coupled with all the countries like China and Russia and India and Kazakhstan have been buying tremendous amounts of gold this year. But we're going to see more countries come in and buy some gold and try to secure some of their resources.
Totally. I will say, though, luckily, Senate control was kept by the Republicans, and that's more important than the House. So
yeah, absolutely.
Not too big of a concern there. But like you said, we're looking to potentially see a massive correction in the stock market. You said within the next 12 to 18 months? That's what Stockton said.
That's what David Stockman said. And I think, his prediction of a 40% correction is not based on just some numbers out of thin air. I mean, really, if you look at the recession that we saw in 2008 and the massive correction, that was a 55% pullback. So a 40% pullback would be less than that, and obviously would affect a lot of people that have the majority of their net worth in the stock market. And that's why we always talk about being diversified with your portfolio and making sure that you have things like precious metals or other investments so that you don't have all your eggs in one basket. Also, the thing to keep in mind, too, is interest rates have been going up. The housing, but looks like we got a little bit of a housing bubble here, and homes are sitting on the market, especially in California and some of the bigger New York. So if we see that correction in the stock market, we see the real estate bubble start to burst. It's going to affect most Americans, people that have a lot of their net worth tied in those two assets.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier about all the countries that are buying up gold and silver reserves. You said Hungary and Poland, was it?
Hungary and Poland did a buy last week, and the central bank buying of gold accounts for about 10 to 15% of the market right now. So it's not a huge amount that they're buying in terms of central banks. But if we see a recession, we see a pullback, I wouldn't be surprised if the central bank come in and buy more. One thing to keep in mind with central bank buying is typically central banks do not sell. So in essence, what they do is they pull the asset off the market. They put it in vaults. Central banks, why they love gold is they can borrow money against the gold that they have in storage. So it's a good way to have some kind of leverage on some of their investments. So I think if you look at the future, I wouldn't be surprised if we see central bank buying go up to closer to 20%. And that gold is never coming back on the market, and that's just going to increase the price over time because ultimately it's a supply and demand market. Less of the gold that's out there being traded, more of it sitting in central banks' hands. That will dwindle the supply of it and obviously move the price up.
Right. And a couple other countries that I've seen recently look into precious metals more is China and Russia, liquidating their reserves, buying up more gold. So I think what you're saying here, it might be a very wise decision, not only to beat any potential recession with the stock market, but also to beat the central banks in buying up the gold. It's never really going to come on to market again. Might as well get it before they do.
Yeah, and Jordan, for people that when we talk about investments, and we have employees here that ask us questions all, what should I do? When you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s, you can ride the waves of the stock market. You can go with the ups and downs. You can ride out the bull and the bear markets. It's for people that are closer to retirement when you really have to think about it. And if you think about the numbers, if somebody retired, let's say in 2007, and they were going to use some of that money they had in the stock market over the next 5 years to live on, if they had to sell some of their stocks in 2009 after the market pulled back 50%, obviously they're not going to be able to afford the retirement that they planned for. And so ultimately what we're saying is you want to have different assets out there so that you're protected. The younger you are, you can withstand the ups and downs of it, but closer to retirement is really where you have to be careful and make sure that you have different investments out there. And so, that's why a lot of people call us. They get the free guides, they get educated, and they learn about what we do with precious metals, and so they can see a different investment just in case these corrections do happen.
But I mean, even for somebody that is young, we're looking at inflation that's for gold and silver much better than with paper dollars or with the stock market, something that's a lot safer.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we were talking about it, Jordan, we just released, a way for, first time collectors in the numismatic or rare coins. We offer the Morgan silver dollar, which is a coin that was in circulation over 100 years ago. And you talked about inflation. This coin was a dollar coin. It was in circulation. People bought things with it. And you could actually buy things with $1 100 years ago. Today, a dollar is worth nothing. Yeah, that's the Morgan silver dollar. That's in late 1800s. And if you look at that coin, and that coin, is worth $40, $50 today, it still can buy the same amount of goods that it did 100 years ago. It can still pay for food. You can still go to lunch and buy goods and groceries. So silver has, even though silver is down right now, the price is way down from where it's been, it still has kept up with your expenses and your buying, and it's been able to keep up with inflation much better than the dollar. I mean, a dollar today is worth nothing. I mean,
right. $1 100 years ago could buy a ton of stuff. Now you can barely buy a candy bar.
Exactly. And think about you and I 30, 40 years from now. Even, right now, $20, you could probably $15 buy lunch. In 20, 30 years from now, what is it going to cost to buy lunch? Is it going to cost $100, $150, $200 to just buy a simple lunch? Well, I can tell you that silver coin that you have that someone could buy today is definitely going to keep up with that value, and it's going to continue to go up in value over time. So, we wanted to offer not only a silver coin that has some numismatic value and get something that has history in their hands, but we also want to remind people that there was a time that our money wasn't dwindling every day dramatically in value. And it's when we had real money, real gold and silver. And obviously things have changed over time, but it's a really good reminder that, you can pick up something that will stand the test of time. And, obviously a lot of people are buying them for Christmas gifts and whatnot, but, we're really excited about it. And I think people are going to be really excited when they get these coins in their hands.
Yeah, man, these coins are really, really cool. The old collector's edition one, your Trump coin that you guys have are really awesome. It's really good to have actual physical weight, something solid in my hands. It's not a fake paper dollar with weird symbology all over it. So
Exactly.
These are really cool, man. And people can go pick these up from you guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
HistoricSilverCoins.com if they want to buy the Morgan coin. We are offering for this month, if they use your name Jordan, they're going to save $5 off per coin.
Cool.
And then we still have the Trump coin at TrumpCoin2020.com. So they can go to both places depending if they want something new or if they want something old. Both options are there. Great gifts for Christmas. The Morgan coin also comes with this booklet, this pamphlet. It's a 12-page booklet that explains the history of the coin, what was happening during that time period. So, and this comes with every coin that's purchased. So I think people are really going to enjoy getting these for gifts. And, so many people, holidays, they don't get me anything because I don't need another tie. I don't need this. I don't need electronics.
Pajamas, grandma, come on.
Yeah, I don't need this anymore. But this will be a gift that I think that they'll really enjoy, and they'll keep it on the shelf or put it in the safe and have it for years and years to come. So it's exciting. And I will say this, Jordan, I was watching some of your videos and your channel, and sometimes I forget about this, but we sponsor your show. Obviously, we love what you're doing and all the documentaries that you're bringing out, and you're constantly traveling and getting the word out. But people need to just, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. I mean, I think the cool thing about your channel is that you talk about some finance stuff. You're going to talk about what's happening in the world. You're going to talk about, what's going on with Q and that whole world, which is a whole world unto itself. But I mean, it's just going to continue to grow. You're a young person, young guy. And so anyone watching this, I would say subscribe and, watch the videos.
Little red button right up there somewhere.
Yeah, just subscribe and enjoy what Jordan is putting out there and watch him, as things go over time. I mean, I think in terms of the people that we talk to, you're one of the youngest, kind of most interesting background, and what you're doing is trying to open people's eyes. And I don't think anyone would be disappointed for the next 20 years if they subscribed and watched, a bunch of your videos. So
I think the only thing that would disappoint them is if YouTube decided to terminate my channel a third time. So
no, don't even say it. Don't even bring it up.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, don't even put that out there. And,
hey man, I appreciate you, Colin, definitely,
absolutely.
and thanks for saying that.
Absolutely, no, I love it, and yeah, if anybody has any questions, give us a call. We're to get these coins before Christmas, you got to buy them in the next few weeks, and I promise you, when you get these coins, that people you give them to are going to love them. And, any of the free guides about the economy or IRAs, all that information is free. All our guides are free. So feel free to hit the links, put your information in, and looking forward to talking to everybody about the, gold and silver.
Awesome, man. Thanks, Colin. I'll drop the links in the phone number down below. Get your coins, guys. Get your coins. Hold the money in your hands.
Exactly. Thanks, Jordan. Have a good one.
Take care.